This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain. It's Easter Monday, the end of a long weekend, and provincial election candidates are starting to put a few miles on those big campaign buses. For the Progressive Conservatives, the focus is on the Avalon. Districts around St. John's provided a stronghold for the party in the 2015 election, and leader Ches Crosby says the Avalon will play a pivotal role this time around. Here Now's Garrett Barry reports.
Battleground St. John's.
Well, our path to victory lies, in taking. We have a good shot at taking every seat on the Avalon Peninsula.
Is the rain going to hold on?
Here's the team he thinks can do it.
Beth Crosby, my sister, in the back there. Take a bow. Jonathan Galgay.
You might remember that name, a former city councillor trying to make the leap to the provincial stage.
If elected, immediately can start working. It's not going to take me long to be able to channel my way through government process. I know the programs, I know how government operates, and I'm ready, I'm experienced. I'm really looking forward to just getting down to work.
His priorities?
Number one is seniors. Seniors have a number of concerns with the current government. We hear about health care. We hear about housing issues in particular for seniors.
And inside this coffee shop, the PCs have some fans. Or maybe the Liberals have some critics.
Now Mr. Crosby's going to go to work on it. Yeah, and they told me that into the housing that they never had no more money. Oh God, if he never had no more money, where are they getting all the money to spend now?
Across town in a Liberal district, a new challenger, but another familiar name. His father was a PC minister, but don't accuse him of riding on coattails. Are you hoping people think of your father when they see you?
I'm hoping people think of me. I'm Shane. I'm hoping people think of me, people recognize how hardworking I am, how ambitious I am, and how I want to make a life here in Newfoundland and Labrador. I don't want to move away like the many others that have. I want to stay here, and I want people, when they hear Shane Skinner, they think of Shane Skinner.
There are 18 seats on the Avalon Peninsula, so even a clean sweep of this part of the province wouldn't guarantee anybody the opportunity to form government. Crosby says he will compete in rural areas as well once he takes his message on the road. Garrett Barry, CBC News, St. John's.
Liberal leader Dwight Ball was in his home district of Humber-Gross-Morne all weekend, and tonight he's headed to a campaign launch in nearby Humber Bay of Islands. Now, that's the seat held by Eddie Joyce, and though the two men once campaigned together, this time they'll be facing off. Now, last election, Joyce won the seat for the Liberals with 85% of the vote. But as you'll recall, he was kicked out of caucus last year during a scandal over harassment and bullying inside the provincial legislature. Well, the new Liberal candidate is Brian Dix, a councillor with the Halibut First Nation band in Corner Brook. So this is going to be a race to watch. Now, again, as a reminder, just take a look at this margin. In 2015, Eddie Joyce got more than 4,600 votes. The PC candidate had just over 500, and the NDP nearly 300 votes. Well, Thursday is the last day that candidates can put their names forward to run in this provincial election. The Liberals have a full roster, but the other three parties are still trying to fill all 40 districts. Here Now's Meg Roberts with that story.
You might notice more lawn signs popping up as politicians start to campaign, but most parties are still trying to recruit candidates. In just 3 short days, the nomination deadline closes. So far, the NL Alliance has 9 out of the 40 districts filled. It only became a registered party at the beginning of this month. Graydon Pelly, leader of the Alliance, says the short election notice has not been helpful for his newly established party, but he's not going to let that slow them down.
I wish we had more time. We thought that we would have more time to get more candidates, but I'm pretty confident that if we were given the opportunity of another month even, that we would have a full slate of candidates across this province, and we would certainly be a force to reckon with when it comes to these numbers. And we believe that the 9 candidates we have, we are so proud of them stepping forward, and we have great candidates in place, and we're looking forward to having members elected to the House of Assembly.
While the Alliance is the newest, it's not the party with the fewest candidates so far. The New Democrats have just 5 candidates in place, but the party ran a full slate in the last election, and leader Alison Coffin says there will be a candidate for every district come Thursday afternoon.
Realistically, I think we have every opportunity to get 5 seats, which would be fantastic, and there may be a few more. I hear lots and lots of people are very disgruntled with the other 2 parties, so I'm really looking forward to a bit of a change.
The Liberals are the only party with a full roster after calling the election late last week, and the Conservatives are nearly there with 33. They will be selecting the candidate for Harbour, Maine this evening, making it 34. And if you feel like running for office, you have until Thursday at 2 p.m. to do so. Meg Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, in other news, quite the scene in St. John's today. People traveling on a section of highway saw police officers with their guns drawn surrounding a school bus. Now, it happened late this afternoon in the eastbound lane of Peacekeepers Way near Weir's Construction. Traffic came to a standstill as police forced the bus to stop and then arrested the driver. He was the only person on board the vehicle, and witnesses tell CBC News that officers had their weapons drawn and that the tires of the school bus were flattened. Police aren't expected to release details of why the bus was stopped until tomorrow, but the police do tell us that the man was wanted on outstanding warrants. A 7-year-old in St. John's remains in hospital with severe injuries after a large piece of ice broke off a cliff and landed on him. Hunter Delaney was playing underneath the ice wall at Middle Cove Beach Monday afternoon, and he was struck in the back of the neck. The boy was knocked out and he was unresponsive. Now, he did open his eyes for the first time on Friday. The doctors say Hunter's condition is slowly improving, but they still don't know the full extent of his injuries. His mother is warning others to steer clear of the ice.
I know at that point in time, I felt helpless. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't carry him. I couldn't stand up myself. And I sat there and I held him. He was just waiting. There was nothing I could do. If you're attending that beach, I'd suggest you stay back from that wall. As beautiful as that wall may be, it is dangerously unpredictable.
Well, the deputy mayor of Logie Bay Middle Cove Outer Cove says people should stay back away from that ice at least 50 meters, especially at this time of year as that ice starts to thaw. Well, a man in the St. John's area is without his motorcycle after police clocked him doing, get this, 100 kilometers over the speed limit on Sunday. The RNC says the 26-year-old driver was doing 180 kilometers per hour in an 80 zone on the Team Guzhou Highway. And on top of that, they say he didn't have insurance or the proper license. Police slapped the driver with a hefty ticket and impounded his motorcycle. Well, the 70th annual Provincial Drama Festival kicked off yesterday. There has been a provincial festival for as long as there's been a province of Newfoundland and Labrador. The competition brings talented actors to St. John's from right across the province. And for each of the next 7 nights, a different drama club will perform. And at the end of all this, they're going to choose a winner.
The talent in this province is really amazing. We're lucky because we don't have equity here. We don't have a professional actors union. So there's really an invisible line between amateur and professional theater in this province. And it's also really, really competitive. You get some really high caliber shows in this festival. Even though it's not a professional festival, it's an amateur festival. At times you wouldn't know the difference.
On tonight's performance is Circle Mirror Transformation by the Mokami Players out of Happy Valley Goose Bay, and it features a star you might have seen on Here and Now, our very own Jacob Barker. So break a leg, Jacob. All shows take place at the Arts and Culture Centre in St. John's. Well, back to the campaign trail now. Liberal candidate Michael Duffy spent the day at the beach.
These people on the beach today were good enough to come out on this cold, drizzly day, which is not uncommon for us, and I consider it a beautiful day, to help us clean up Middle Cove Beach and do something good for our planet.
Now, Duffy is running in Cape St. Francis, and that's the district currently held by PC Kevin Parsons. And Duffy says he chose today to clean up the beach despite the weather because it is Earth Day. Well, as I just mentioned, Easter Monday also happens to be Earth Day, and a business in St. John's marked the occasion by showing off something called an eco refill station. Well, customers can bring in their own containers and fill those up with things such as shampoo, soap, and detergent. Just take a look.
My name is Megan Kennedy, and I'm owner of The Natural Vibe. Being a small business owner, you're always looking out to see what people are looking for, what's missing in the community, and we actually had a coworker here who used to work in the natural health industry in Ontario, and that's obviously like a very big movement over there right now. So we thought, why not? Why not bring it here, give people the option to come in and cut down on plastic, and we're really excited. If you're looking about the quality of product and you're looking to someone who normally uses like a natural, clean product that they're buying in a plastic bottle, this product definitely works out to be 50% if not more savings, which is fantastic. It's really good quality, so it's not something you're gonna buy and feel like it's not up to par to what you're used to using. I've been using the laundry dish. As soon as this arrived, we all started using this and we love it, and we think that it's a great way, like I said, just to cut down on that plastic. If we all kind of look at our things that we do on a day-to-day life, these small little switches, like they make such a big impact on our environment, and I think it's at least worth a shot, especially with the things that maybe you're not so brand, ho on, like your laundry or your dish, but definitely come down and try out the product because you never know, you might really love it. They also do some different options for like dry scalp, or like I said, the unscented version, so there's definitely a little bit here for everyone.
I put in my leave. I just assumed that was going to go through.
But it didn't, and so now a woman on the Northern Peninsula is going through the unusual move of quitting her job so that she can run for the Progressive Conservatives in next month's election. She explains why she's so passionate about getting into provincial politics after your weather.
This weather update is brought to you by the Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery. Order your tickets now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
Hi there, I'm meteorologist Jay Scotland from the CBC Weather Center, in for my good friend Ashley tonight, covering off your weather across Newfoundland and Labrador. And not a bad one today. Much of Newfoundland and Labrador, very warm, very mild for this time of year with above seasonal temperatures. That's all about to come back to reality tomorrow. And we do have a bit of a mess to talk about ahead for Tuesday night into Wednesday. So let's start with a special weather statement that is in place across much of Newfoundland, central and southern parts of Newfoundland, also down into the Port aux Basques area. You do have a wreck house wind warning in effect, and this is because Tuesday night through to Wednesday, really Wednesday morning before the winds finally start to ease, you could be looking at winds gusting over 100 to upwards of 130 kilometers per hour. As for that special weather statement, that will have to do with a wintry mix of wet snow, rain, and a good chance for icy precipitation, including ice pellets and freezing rain, and this will predominantly be for your Wednesday. Really arriving Tuesday night. As for today, those afternoon temperatures were stellar. Now I know St. John's, across the Avalon, across much of Newfoundland, you were dealing with a bit more cloud cover and some periods of rain, but temperature-wise, we were up well above seasonal, which should be, well, for St. John's, around 6 degrees, and even parts of eastern Labrador were a few degrees above that seasonal norm for those daytime high temperatures today. Very mild temperatures. We are looking to be back to at or below seasonal values, unfortunately, for your Tuesday. So here's a look at the satellite and the radar imagery, and you were looking at relatively clear conditions across much of Labrador today. Ridge of high pressure in place. Now you can see that band of cloud cover, some light drizzle and showers still over eastern and southern parts of Newfoundland. We're going to watch for that risk of showers to increase along the South Shore area tomorrow as we look to southern parts of the Burin, southern parts of the Avalon, for example. That ridge of high pressure, though, will keep areas across Labrador and even northern Newfoundland up the Great Northern Peninsula fairly clear. So we are looking at clear and cool conditions there through the overnight hours, but showers, drizzle possible as far north as St. John's. You'll be looking at steadier periods of rain really starting to move in and possibly mixing with some snow with those strong easterly winds Tuesday night into Wednesday. And as we look into Wednesday, it will be a wintry mix across southern Newfoundland. Wet snow, freezing rain, and a prolonged period of freezing rain for southern areas will be possible. Rolling this ahead into Wednesday afternoon, you can still see that icy precipitation in the forecast. Now, that will not be tomorrow's story. For your Tuesday, cooler temperatures are in place. Still pretty sunny conditions for areas to the north and across Labrador. You've got that risk of showers, drizzle, and more cloud than sun for southern areas. And here's a quick look into your Wednesday. That is when things will start to get icy, particularly across southern Newfoundland, with a prolonged period of freezing rain and ice pellets possible with those temperatures around the freezing mark. So some messier conditions ahead Tuesday night into Wednesday. Just a heads up, could be seeing some icy wintry precipitation with a second storm system taking a similar track into Thursday as well. And that is a look at your forecast.
Well, politics on the Northern Peninsula are a lot more interesting as the mayor of Roddickton Bide Arm chose the holiday weekend to announce that she'll be running for the Progressive Conservatives. Sheila Fitzgerald is going to take on Cabinet Minister Christopher Mitchellmore in the district of St. Barb-Lancer Meadows, and her Easter hop into provincial politics comes at a high cost: her job at the Department of Children, Seniors and Social Development. Sheila Fitzgerald, welcome to Here and Now.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So why are you doing this?
Well, the time is right. You know, I live here, I work here, I'm raising my family here. I've been 21 years working as a frontline social work supervisor here. I'm the mayor. This is my second term. And I'm putting and have put my heart and soul into things that are really important to me. And, you know, that would include my family, my work, and my community. And as you know, I'm the mayor of the news capital of the world, and we've been working really hard to sustain our community, to grow our community, and things are not happening as much as we'd like that they would be. And, you know, like I say, living here, I see that there's just so much untapped opportunities. And that what better way to look at seeing that grow and extend without other than going in myself. I feel that here on the Northern Peninsula that we need a strong voice and we need someone with a strong vision, or our future may not look the way that it looks right now.
Okay, now you mentioned that you held a government job for 2 decades. Why did you have to give that up?
I am a supervisor, And so when I put in for my leave, I just assumed that I was going to get the leave because, you know, if you look at the chain of command, I'm closer to the bottom of the chain of command because, you know, we have 5 levels, which works out to be the social worker, the supervisor, the manager, the director, and then we get into senior management. So when I put in my leave, I just assumed that that was going to go through. But they came back and said, you know, unfortunately, you have access to discretionary funding that would be provided to different businesses and persons in your community, and that, you know, because of that, you are what they consider politically restricted. But there is one good thing about all this, and that is that they will hold, the policy is that they have to hold my job, that they can't advertise it as permanent and fill it while I am campaigning. So the job is held there and likely going to be vacant for the next 3 weeks until the outcome of this election.
Of course, you're hoping to actually get another job now. Christopher Mitchellmore, he won with a ton of votes last election. It's pretty red up there where you are. What makes you think it was worth giving up your job to take on Mr. Mitchellmore?
Well, you know, for me, whenever I go for something, it's all in. There's nothing halfway with me. I've put my heart and soul into my community and into my family. And right now, I want it to be in the tip of the Northern Peninsula, the St. Barb to Lansing Meadows. I always compare myself to being like a salmon. You know, this is a red district. It's historically been a very red district. And there's never ever been a woman elected in the 70 years since we joined Confederation. So I'm going against the tide, like a salmon going up the river. So, you know what? This is not about political strife. Like, you know, it's about having a strong voice, having the right representative that's going to stand up and speak for us. And when it comes down to brass knuckles, that will fight for us up here on the Northern Peninsula.
Could be a lot of people who think that you're the right pick, but how do you go door to door in Liberal territory explaining that Ches Crosby is the best choice for Premier of our province?
You know, we have a good leader. There is no doubt about that. And, you know, my response to people is that you have to believe in our leadership. But at the end of the day, if you have a problem that you need to have someone stand up for you, to have your back, and to go and look into things and to fight for things, it's no good to call Ches Crosby and it's no good to call Dwight, because those are not the people that are here on the ground. You need to have a strong representative here on the ground. I believe in Ches Crosby and I believe in the party, but you know, what's most important is that we need to have somebody here that we believe in, and that somebody's going to go and do something and stand up for us and create a vision for the future for our sake and for our children's sake.
All right, well, listen, you made a big decision over the weekend. Appreciate your time. And as I would say to Mr. Mitchellmore and any candidates in this election, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Now to another provincial election campaign now that is mired in sadness. In Prince Edward Island, people are mourning the loss of a Green Party candidate and his young son. Josh Underhay and 6-year-old Oliver died in a canoeing accident that happened on Friday, and tonight many are grieving the loss of a friend, teacher, musician, and activist. Sarah McMillan reports.
Josh Underhay may have been new to provincial politics, but those who remember him say his commitment to his community was nothing new. On the campaign trail, you may have seen Underhay riding his bike door to door. One of the many ways he's being remembered is as an avid cyclist and activist.
He really lived by what he believed, so he was a great person and great example for everybody in the cycling community and just in general, just the way we should live.
Connolly says Underhay was instrumental in petitioning for a bike lane on the Hillsborough Bridge. He remembers him as a man of action and unparalleled enthusiasm. He channeled that into many areas of his life, including music. He was an accomplished trumpet player. Richard Russell used to play with Underhay in the band The Count and the Cuban Cocktail.
Well, there was one time we were on stage and this was a Latin band, so Latin music, people are dancing. And as is often the case, a conga line spontaneously developed in the audience, and I just nudged Josh. He ran down off the stage and led the conga line with his trumpet, and everyone had a wonderful time.
And he shared that passion for music with students. As well as teaching French immersion and social studies at Birchwood School, he also led the jazz band and glee club. Student Gracie Macbeth was inspired by his love of music and by the lessons she learned from him.
Everyone is the same. Like, don't judge someone just because they're different, because everyone has their own story. You don't know what is going on in someone else's life.
The vice principals at Birchwood say Underhay brought his classroom to life, and his death leaves a big void.
I think going forward, we're going to try to emphasize how fortunate we were as a school body, staff and students, to have had somebody like Josh in our lives, and I know that he's going to be leaving an indelible mark on people's lives.
When students return to class tomorrow, there will be supports there for them, and students are encouraged to wear green in memory of Josh and Oliver. That's also happening at École François Buot, where Oliver was a student. Underhay leaves behind his wife and another young son, along with many friends and relatives. Sarah McMillan, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Welcome back. Turning to international news, tensions remain high in Sri Lanka after a bomb disposal unit detonated an unexploded device near the airport in Colombo today. Another bomb was found in a van outside a church. No one has claimed responsibility for yesterday's attacks, but authorities believe a local jihadi group backed by an international network is behind the series of bombings. 8 explosions at churches and hotels killed 290 people and injured about 500 others yesterday, Easter Sunday. Most of the victims are believed to be Sri Lankan citizens, but authorities say there were at least 30 foreigners killed in these attacks as well. Police and military have now been granted sweeping powers to investigate. Well, the world is reacting to the election of a new president of Ukraine. In neighboring Russia, the Kremlin says it's still too early for President Vladimir Putin to congratulate him. A spokesman says Putin wants to make sure that Volodymyr Zelensky takes concrete steps to ease tensions between the two countries. Zelensky won a landslide victory in yesterday's runoff vote against incumbent Petro Poroshenko. He's a political novice, best known for his work as a comedian who actually played the role of Ukraine's president in a television sitcom. So who knows, maybe Mark Critch in a new life might be going for somebody else's job in politics. The season seems to be upon us. Thanks a lot for watching tonight. The full team will be back tomorrow with all of your news and weather, and I suspect the campaign's going to really get going now that the Easter holiday is beyond us. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.